Good morning children, welcome back to the social science class. In our previous class we know very well we have discussed about the social and religious reform movements. As we successfully discussed about the social and religious reform movements, no? Today I have planned to start one more new lesson from the geography, which is none other than land resources. So as we are about to start new lesson from the geography, that is India land resources, first let us try to understand what are all the important concepts we need to discuss from this lesson. In a sense, after completing this lesson, we will be having idea about all these important concepts. The first one is land use pattern of India. In a sense, we are going to discuss in detail about the land use pattern of India. Next is agriculture in India and its importance. What do you mean by agriculture? And at the same time, what is the importance of agriculture in India? Next is the types of agriculture in India. So what type of agriculture we are going to find in our country? And crop season and cropping pattern. The next important concept what we need to discuss from this chapter is crop season and cropping pattern. And fifth one is major crops of India. What are the important crops we are going to produce or we are going to grow in our country? And finally, role of horticulture and floriculture also we are going to discuss in detail in this module. Okay. So as we came to know about the important concept which we are supposed to discuss from this lesson, first let us start with land use pattern of India. What do you mean by land use? See, usually we are going to make use of the land for several purposes. Using the land for several purposes or utilization of land for various activities or various purpose is only going to be known as the land use. Okay. So generally, for example, you see, we are going to make use of this land for the construction of building. So for the practice of agriculture, for construction of roads, for the construction of dam, for apart from this, for many reasons we are going to make use of the land. So as we are going to make use of this land for several purposes or for different purposes, that itself is going to be known as the land use pattern or utilization of land. So generally I said you what exactly you mean by the land use pattern. But according to the syllabus, let us try to understand how we are going to define the land use pattern or how we are going to understand what do you mean by land use. Okay, listen carefully. Land use pattern of India. So meaning the distribution of land for different uses such as forestry, cultivation, pastures itself is going to be known as land use. See, usually we are going to distribute the land for several purposes. Maybe it is for the forestry, or maybe it is for the agriculture, or maybe it is for the pastures, growing the grasses. Okay. So this is going to be known as the land use. Or in other words, we are going to see the utilization of land or land utilization. So it is determined by various factors such as relief features, climate, soil, population, density, socio-economic and technical factors. See, this is very important for us to understand. It is not possible for us to make use of this land wherever we want and however we want. So, some of the important factors are there which are going to determine the use of the land. Maybe it is the climate, or maybe it is the soil, maybe it is the population density or socio-economic and technical factors. Okay. So where these all factors are suitable, there only it is possible for us to make use of that land for a particular cause or for a particular reason. Okay. So land is one of the most important natural resources of a country. So finally we are going to understand land is going to be considered as one of the most important natural resource of a country. So we are not responsible for the land. So land it itself existed. So this is the gift of nature. Okay. So we are not responsible for this. For that reason only, we are going to call this one as a important natural resource. Okay, its proper use is very essential for the growth of economy or the country. So if we are going to make use of this land in a right way, in a proper way, then automatically it is going to help us a lot in the development of the country. If you don't know how to make use of the land in a proper way, then automatically it is not going to help us in order to develop the country. See, whatever the land is available in our country, so according to the relief features, according to the climatical conditions, according to the fertility of the soil, we need to make use of that land, and definitely that land is going to help us a lot in the development of the country. Okay, so this is about the land use pattern. So next is classification. How we are going to classify the land use pattern in our country? For several purposes we are going to make use of this land. No? So here we have categorized this land use into mainly 7 categories. So among them 7 categories are net sown area, forest area, land not available for cultivation, fallow land, cultivable waste, permanent pasture and other grazing land, and finally land under miscellaneous uses. So these are some 7 categories in what way we are going to make use of the land. So one by one we are going to understand. What do you mean by net sown area? What do you mean by forest area? What do you mean by land not available for cultivation? Like that, all the 7 we are going to discuss in detail. First, let us try to understand what do you mean by net sown area. It is very simple. So just you listen carefully, you are going to understand everything easily. It includes land that can be used to cultivate crops. See, net sown area means the land which is used for the cultivation of crops. In the sense, this land we are going to use in order to produce the crops. Okay, this category is very important in an agricultural country like India. See, especially you know very well, India basically a agro based country. So as India is a agro based country, so here net sown area is going to play a very important role. Not only India, so whichever the countries are mainly based on the agriculture, in those countries the net sown area is going to play a very important role. And now you see, it accounts for about 42.42%. See, among the total land of our country, nearly 42.42% of the land mainly used for the cultivation or the producing the crops. And now you see, however, it is not evenly distributed all over the country. It is quite common. So 42.42% is there now. This land not evenly distributed all over the country. So some of the states are having the highest usable land, cultivable land, and some of the states they are having medium, and some of the states they doesn't have the cultivable land only. In the sense, very less. See, the highest portion of this is found in the states of Punjab, Haryana, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, and Kerala. So usually we are going to see this northern plains. So in the northern plains, usually we can make use of that land for the purpose of cultivating the crops. That is the Punjab, Haryana, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, and Kerala. And it is least in the northeastern states like medium in other states. See, usually very less in northeastern part of India, because the northeastern part of India is covered with the mountainous regions. So as they are going to covered with the mountainous ranges, it is not possible for us to make use of that land for the cultivation of crops. And the other states are there, medium land is there for the cultivation of crops. And next is the forest area. See, in India, only 22.8% of the total area reported area under the forest. Only 22.8% of area is there, that is reported under the forest. So actually, we need to have 33% of the land under the forest. But what to do? Only 22.8% we are having. and it is high in Andaman and Nicobar Islands and in the northeastern states. So, especially in Andaman and Nicobar Islands and in the northeastern states, we are going to have the dense forest. It is least in states of Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat. So, usually in Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan and Gujarat, no, we are going to come across very less forest area. So, next is land not available for cultivation. So, let us try to understand what do you mean by land not available for cultivation. Land used for non-agricultural purposes like human settlements, roads, railways, canals, mountains and sandy waste etc. come under this category. So, usually this area we are not going to make use for the purpose of this cultivation or the agriculture. So, mainly in this area, no, we are going to see the human settlements or roads, railways, canals, mountains and sandy waste. So, nearly 14.1% of the total reported area of the country belongs to this category. So, at present we are going to see 14.1% of the land is occupied with human settlements, roads, railways, construction of dams and many other things. Okay. It is largely found in Assam, Manipur and Sikkim. So, this type of land is no, it is largely found in Assam, Manipur and Sikkim, but in low proportion in Goa, Kerala, Orissa and Maharashtra. So, these are the states which are having less land for the human settlement. The fourth one is fallow land. What do you mean by fallow land? See, it refers to the land which is not used for cultivation. In the sense, this land does not have any fertility at all. So, as this land is not at all having any fertility, no, it is not at all used for the cultivation purpose. So, it accounts nearly 8.2% of the reported area and it is largely found in Mizoram, Tamil Nadu and Meghalaya. So, less in Tripura, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, largely found in Tamil Nadu, Mizoram. Okay. There is a wasteland. So, fallow land is wasteland and less in Tripura, Puducherry and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, next is cultivable wasteland. What do you mean by this cultivable wasteland? See, it includes the land which is not taken up for cultivation due to certain soil deficiencies. See, land is available, but due to some deficiency in the soil, no, we are not using that land for the cultivation. So, if we are going to make use of that land for the cultivation, that is also going to be known as the cultivable land. So, it is extensive in the states of Meghalaya, Goa, Nagaland and Rajasthan. It accounts to 4.3% of the reported area. So, nearly 4.3% of the reported area we are going to see here. Permanent pasture and other grazing lands. Sixth one is permanent pasture and other grazing lands. It accounts for only 3.4% of the total reporting area in India and it is largely found in Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. So, only it is going to be largely found in the states of Gujarat as well as the Madhya Pradesh. So, finally, we are going to discuss about land under miscellaneous uses. So, miscellaneous in the sense for various purpose we are going to make use of the land. So, as we are going to make use this land for various purposes, no, that is going to be known as the miscellaneous. It includes gardens, orchards and plantations which accounts for nearly 1.1%. Only 1.1% of the land is utilized for miscellaneous. Here we are going to see the gardens and the plantations, parks and orchards, everything we are going to come across here. And such land is the more in the states of Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Kerala, Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh. So, these are the states which are having the highest this land is used for miscellaneous, and this is the land use pattern which we are going to see in our Karnataka or in our India. Okay. So, in the next period we are going to understand what do you mean by agriculture, and at the same time we are going to understand what is the importance of agriculture also. So, till that, bye, see you, thank you.